Welcome back to the Ginger Transformer podcast. This is your host, MEGA-GINGE. For the past few podcasts, we've been going through the best and worst episodes of the Generation 1 American Transformer cartoon series. There's been ones in there which I've defended to the hill, some which are probably controversial, some which people will not agree with, some people will probably agree with wholeheartedly, but there are like 90, just shy of 100 episodes all in all. So once again, everything that has been said over these past few podcasts have been my own personal opinions. I'm not preaching to anyone. I'm just telling you what I liked, what I didn't like. And this brings us to the last one, to my best episodes and worst episodes of season 4. The whole 3 episodes that was the Rebirth. So I'm just going to say they were all kind of meh, okay, with highlights and with good parts and bad parts. This will just be like my thing for Transformers, a movie, It was one movie. I couldn't really say it was the best or the worst. Personally, I think it's the best movie out of all of them. But so I'll be doing that for this. So the Rebirth Part 1, 2, and 3. Hasbro kind of just lost the fans after season 3. Let's be honest. The introduction of so many new characters, the killing off of so many old characters. I know from a financial standpoint, Hasbro had to, advertise these new toys. But from a fan standpoint, going forward, it was bad. It was a bad idea. But the Rebirth, ironically, for 3 episodes, gave us probably more new characters than we got in probably season 2 and season 3, separately, not combined. And introduced us to a new concept that introduced us to, in order here, 6 changers, because we don't see headmasters or target masters first. We see 6 shot, and he's in it for about, I'd say, a minute of the first episode, Rebirth Part 1, and it shows off this new 6 changer. God help you if you have any, either the old ones or the newer versions of these that came out. I have them. I have 6 shot, Great Shot, and a couple others, and trying to remember all the transformation sequences for them. Even for me, I'm quite good with this, but it does become a bit taxing on the old noggin. We also have the Autobot and Decepticon clones. We have Cloudraker and Fastlane, the Autobot clones. Once we see them twice, culminating in maybe 10 seconds of screen time. We have Wingspan and Pounce, who we see once, but that's about a minute's worth of screen time. Not too bad. We see Punch, Counter Punch, the Autobot who can transform into a Decepticon spy, or is he a Decepticon who can turn into an Autobot spy? Who knows? We see him for maybe about 5 minutes of the first episode, and going after Wingspan and Pounce, who tried to steal the key to the plasma energy chamber, but basically the whole 3 episodes are surrounding this key, the plasma energy chamber. It's where the original Autobot bodies were forged, and if you open it up again, it basically it kills all machine life. So of course Galvatron wants to get his hands on it and kill everyone. To this end, he invades Autobot City to get it. Then he invades Cybertron, and apart from Optimus Prime, the only other season 1 Transformers that we get to see, I'm not counting Goldbug at this point because he's no longer Bumblebee, he's Goldbug. Still voiced by the same person, but you get the gist. The only ones we get to see, and it was only for a split second as they come off the Decepticon ship, leading the charge on Cybertron in the first episode, are the Constructicons. You don't really see them in battle. You don't really see any sort of combined mode, and that's pretty much it. You see some season 2 Autobots and Decepticons, the Combaticons and the aerial bots, for example. There are a few season 3 characters. Hot Rod, for example, he's no longer Rodimus Prime. Optimus has the shell of the Matrix, it's no longer active. And Cop, Blur, RC. Springer, no sign of Springer. He's quite a prominent character in season 3, but he was just nowhere to be seen here. I would say so were Broadside and Sandstorm missing, but they weren't prominent characters like Springer was. Basically, Scourge gets the key, goes down to the plasma energy chamber, activates it. A squad of Autobots follow him, all of these new ones we've not seen before. Well, he activates the chamber, he gets disabled by the chamber, it seeks out any machine life and kills it. What the hell did he think was going to happen? He's going to get out there in time? And so the Autobots get the key, shut down the chamber, but a bolt of plasma energy hits the ship, and sends them millions of miles into space, straight off to Nebulos. Once there, they crash land and the ship explodes, but the Autobots all go off safely, are captured by Nebulan terrorists. Turns out they're the good guys. They don't like the people who rule the planet, the Hive. Your typical evil government. Galvatron finds this out and is very muchly pissed that Scourge lost the key. So he has Scourge, Cyclonus, and another gaggle of new Decepticons I haven't seen before go to get it. Now, out of the new Autobots, RC is a headmaster as well, but she's not a new one. We have a Highbrow, Brainstorm, Hardhead, and Chrome Dome. You can guess from their names they were going to be headmasters. And note that is the birth of the Autobot headmasters in that episode. Once the Decepticons find them and the Autobots realise we're not really a match at this point. We also have Autobot Target Masters eventually as well. Hot Rod, Cup, and Blur with their Season 3 characters who just can get new transforming, walking, talking guns. And you've got Sure Shot, Crosshairs, Pinpointer. Pinpointer's a Target Master. But anyway, also on the other end of the spectrum, you get the Decepticon Headmasters and Target Masters. The Headmasters are all have beast modes. So you have Ape Face, Snapdragon, Weird Wolf, Skullcruncher, and Mindwipe, who all become Headmasters. The concept of the Target Masters comes along because Cyclonus says, you can have the heads of the animals, but you're not having our heads. You can take our weapons and modify them as you would the heads. So the Decepticon Target Masters are born: Cyclonus, Scourge, Trigger, Happy, Slugslinger, and Misfire. That leads to the creation of the Autobot Target Masters because they made the Headmasters first, but the Decepticons technically made the Target Masters first. They both copied each other's ideas. And eventually, there's a big showdown. Optimus Prime on Cybertron finds out that they're on Nebulos through communication with Vector Sigma and Alpha Trion, who you all know by this point has been long dead, absorbed into Vector Sigma itself. So he goes to Nebulos to find them, bringing a ship conveniently because they don't have one. And they go on a full attack against the Decepticons, only to find out the Hive's leader, Zarek, has turned the entire city into a giant Decepticon super transformer, another Titan called Scorponok, and he thoroughly whoops all their asses, as you do. So all the Decepticons board Scorponok and head for Cybertron. The Autobots give chase, but they leave Spike and another Autobot, Cerebros, on Nebulos. Cerebros was damaged in the episode beforehand. Spike wants to repair him and try to find the city that the Hive used to use before they moved to the other one, which is now turned into Scorponok. The Decepticon Target Masters and Headmasters show up in Cybertron just as Galvatron is finally starting to lose. Most of the Autobots are down, but Ultra Magnus leads to protect the bots against them, and they are gunning down Galvatron. Scorponok shows up, lands, Decepticon Headmasters and Target Masters come fleeing out of him and pretty much annihilate the last of the Autobot resistance on Cybertron. Galvatron demanding, what the fuck has happened here? Why are you sharing your bodies with these filthy organic creatures? And Zarek's able to remind them, I control the big guy, so we should negotiate, and I also have the key to Vector Sigma in my city banks. And Galvatron's like, okay, we'll talk. Not as insane as he was in Season 3. I think that had something to do with the Matrix energy hitting him at the end of Season 3 when Optimus Prime unleashed the energy of the Matrix. It's the only explanation I will personally accept for him not being as caca as he was in the first season that he was in, Season 3. Meanwhile, in Nebulos, Spike has repaired Cerebros. They found the city, and Spike makes very clear that he's going to use the city, rebuild it into something they can fight the Decepticons with, and that Cerebros is going to be part of it. Back to the Autobots who are approaching Cybertron on their shuttle, only Cybertron's gone. And Prime's kind of like, he's not stupid, he's like, okay, there's only one place the Galvatron would take Cybertron if it could move it. Set a course for Earth. And Cybertron is in Earth orbit by the time the Autobots reach it. Galvatron's plan is to unleash the energy of the plasma energy chamber in Earth orbit, pretty much destroying all Transformer life, overloading the sun, destroying Earth. A big last hurrah kind of thing, while he and the Decepticons scarper. So the Autobots go to fight this. Because, they don't want to see everyone destroyed. And to be fair, I don't want to see Earth destroyed. So I'm quite glad they actually stepped up. and they are captured, unfortunately, as Galvatron's down in the plasma energy chamber. They break into Scorponok and they are captured. Some sort of energy beaming things that keep them confined to their regular modes. The headmasters who are stuck that way anyway, because the heads kind of rebelled, transformed, and ran off. Give your head to another walking, talking being. So that's kind of on them. But just as when all seems lost, Fortress Maximus shows up. That's what Spike was working on. He creates Fortress Maximus. He binary bonds with Cerebros to become a headmaster. Fortress Maximus lands, turns into its Fortress mode. Yeah, obviously it's Fortress mode. It's called Fortress Maximus. And he starts laying waste to the Decepticons left, right, and centre. And it's like, well, to be fair, Spike saw the Autobots do all this for, at this point, decades. Of course he's going to want a taste. Of course he's going to want a taste. So they all start, basically from this point, all sort of kind of stories goes out the window. Everyone's shooting everyone. Fortress Maximus transforms. There's a skull into two giant Titan robots that are knocking lumps at each other. Galvatron's shooting things. Prime and the others are starting to escape Scorponok. Everything starts happening at once. Unfortunately, time's up as the action starts to heat up. The timer in the plasma energy chamber reaches zero and then starts to unleash energy, which starts to show us big tendrils of energy coming out of Cybertron's surface. Yeah, one of those tendrils hits Scorponok, who is trying to escape with all the Decepticons on board, and sends it flying off into the distance. That's them. The Decepticons are all gone. Where are they? Spike figures out an ingenious way, once all the Autobots are dying on the surface, to change the rocket's modes from output to intake. Shuts down the plasma energy chamber because he's made of flesh, it doesn't affect them. And the Nebulan headmasters have done what he'd asked. They've reversed the polarity, so they'll start sucking in the energy from the sun, which has been overloading with plasma energy at this point, and it revitalizes Cybertron. He puts energy straight into Vector Sigma, revitalizes Cybertron, and so at that point, you know, if you haven't already realized that Cybertron's golden age was quite literal, because it turns all the metal on Cybertron into gold. Now it was already gold, if it needed energy to be gold, like you're talking literally pavements paved with gold, you know, it's weird. And Cerebros doesn't want to transform, he's sick of fighting, he's a pacifist. And Spike's like, no, you have to see this, you have to see what we've done. So he transforms into his head, Cerebros transforms into his robot, it connects, and he sees all the celebrations. And Prime comes up to him and is like, you know, good job. You've brought peace to Cybertron, you've given us the golden age again, you know? Cybertron's been restored, it's pretty much thanks to you. Whether he was talking to Cerebros or Spike inside Cerebros' head, maybe he was talking to both. But eventually, we don't see the rest of the Autobots. Prime, the headmasters, target masters, and Fortress Maximus returned to Nebulous with the promise of getting rid of all the Hive's evil machines. And then Cerebros can live there in peace. And he says, "Thank you, Optimus, it's a miracle." Then it cuts to Scorponok just kind of floating through space, kind of trying to not hit asteroids, you know, because it obviously has been damaged. You've got Galvatron in the control room going, you know, I will rule the galaxy, me, it's my destiny. And you've got Zarek going, who will rule the galaxy? He's like, me. He's like, yeah, we will see, Captain Nutball, we will see. He doesn't actually say Captain Nutball, but it's pretty much implied. That was like a very brief review of the 3 episodes. Some of my best parts of that was the fact that Cybertron, after all that, was re-energized, brought back to his golden age, because we only got to see that. We only see that in the past episodes. Like once again, referencing War Dawn, we see an actual proper golden age. You know, when the aerial bots go back in time, and we see it. We see this great golden age, and it's now come again because of what was done there. So that's one of my highlights of the series. It was also the fact that we got a shed ton of new characters just for 3 episodes. I quite like that fact. We got a lot of episodes, a lot of characters, on both Autobot and Decepticon side, and it was seriously just for like those 3 episodes, which basically set up, you know, the Japanese Generation 1 series headmasters, which ignores these 3 completely, but uses pretty much all the characters from it, and adding in some of their own, like Raiden, the train bots, that kind of thing. But yeah, it was good to see so many characters getting added in, you know? I mean, it beat season two very easily. Not the Autobot side of it, but the Decepticon side of it. It pretty much beats how many Decepticons were introduced there. Another one of my highlights of it was, apart from Spike and Daniel, who at this point were actually integral to the part of their parts as their human companions, because Daniel's given to RC as his headmaster, or he pretty much he would be paralysed, you know, after a Decepticon attack. And Spike binary bonds with Cerebros to become Fortress Maximus. So I like the fact that the only two humans in it, have a purpose, and that there were no other humans in it the entire time. Everyone knows my stance on humans. I don't like them. We don't need them in Transformers in great droves. Season three seemed to realize that it's like to move us away, and then in the Rebirth, we weren't even on Earth that long to see it. They did bring in another fleshy race, the Nebulans, but you know, once again, that had a purpose. They weren't just there running about screaming. So, you know, I really like that. Some of the things I didn't like about these episodes, well, there was only three. They could have easily just, you know, I don't know if they could have stretched out into a full proper season, but I hate the fact there's only three episodes, you know? I mean, given the fact there's only three episodes, I honestly think that should have just been like made the official ending of season three. You know, you Return Optimus Prime part 1, 2, then the Rebirth parts 1, 2, and 3. That should have been lumped at the end of season three. There was no reason to say this is season four. To me, a season consists of, I would say, a minimum 8 episodes, eight episodes, only six if the episodes are about 40 minutes long, you know? That's just one of my personal pet peeves. I mean, the Marvel TV series, they either have about 9 episodes, but they're all like half an hour long, or they have about 6 or 7 episodes, but they're all about 40, 45 minutes, sometimes closer to an hour, you know? So it's worth it. It's worth the trip. These were like 3 odd minute episodes. And it was like that could have really just been carried on to the end of season three and just called it a day, you know? Then give it, that would basically just be like, here, the Japanese, please take and go forward, make your Headmaster series the official season four. But they ended up copying that anyway, because the Japanese went one better, gave us Transformers Zone right at the end, a 1 episode season. Kind of sucked. Didn't really introduce a lot of new characters either, if I'm completely honest. Another thing I wasn't too keen on, if I'm honest, was the lack of FaceTime for a lot of these newbies. Headmasters and Target Masters got a lot of FaceTime. We didn't see a lot of punch, counter punch, wingspan, pounce, six shot. I would have loved to have seen more of six shot. I mean, you know, I'd have loved to have seen that. Cloudraker, Fastlane, even more action with Throttlebots, who were only introduced in The Return of Optimus Prime, parts 1 and 2. And he didn't really have any speaking roles, apart from Bumblebee / now Goldbug. In this, they had voice parts. They were integral to the fight at the start of the Rebirth, but after that, you didn't really get any more Throttlebot action. And I think that was a bit of a failing as well, because what was the point in them, if we're being completely honest? And just on this, if anyone from Hasbro happens to be watching for our reason, we want new upgraded versions of the Throttlebots. You gave us Goldbug in a buzzworthy Bumblebee Worlds Collide set. You gave us Goldbug. We want the rest. Add 5 for wide load there. We want the rest. You've got the molds. You know, you're bringing out literally everything in the Legacy line humanly possible. Give us them. We want them. G1 collectors want to eventually stop collecting at some point, but we need everyone, you know? We need them all. But anyway, yeah, that is pretty much over the past few podcasts, that has been all my favourite episodes of the Transformers Season 1, and my worst ones of Season 1. Obviously, they're far less of the worst than there were of the best. Some honorary mentions, though. The Ultimate Doom 3-parter in Season 1, which eventually went on to basically be the basis of Transformers Dark of the Moon film, because there are so many plot points from both, from the original 3-parter from Generation 1 that were in that movie, that Michael Bay just decided, I'm going to just, you know, run it into the ground while using what could be known as G1 material. Prick. Another honorary couple of episodes from season two, for example, the desertion of the Dinobots. Just because there were two more Dinobot orientated episodes. I loved it. Is the fact that obviously all the Autobots and Decepticons stopped working, and it was up to the Dinobots to basically save the day. That was great, you know. Honorary mention from season three. Are there any honorary mentions from season three? There must be. There must be. There must be. Oh no! I was Call of the Primitives. That was it. Once again a Dinobot episode, but not just Dinobots. All the at this point animal transformers, the Dinobots, the Predacons, pretty much all the cassettes, apart from like the human the robot formed cassettes, the Rumble Frenzy and that, and just the Triptychon and Skylinks and the Terracons, and it was a bit of a kind of history on Unicron, how he was created and stuff. I enjoyed that episode. It was very well. The art was very well done for that episode. Almost made you think, okay, they've spent the entire art budget on this episode, as if you've watched all the rest of season three. With that, that's the end of those, and next time we'll see what crap spouts out of my mouth. Could be interesting. On that note, everyone take care, roll out, and I'll see you next time.